said that we could have an interview. And Cosmos. It was formerly the New Cosmic Star.
Oh, I see.
And we just changed the name for January, first issue. The first issue is just, well, it's out, coming off the printer today.
It is published every monthly?
Yeah, monthly. That's correct. That's correct, yes. And we cover the Eastern religions. We did a feature article this month on Bishop James Pike, UFOs, astrology. We have, Dr. Bode, Primrose Bode, from he's with Manly Hall. Are you familiar with Manly Hall?
No.
You don't know? You don't know Primrose Bode?
No.
He is from India.
Parsi.
Parsi.
Parsi?
Yes. He does an article for us next month. But I spoke to Dan and I told him that one of the things I would like to ask you, and I think that an awful lot of our readers and an awful lot of people in the United States are terribly confused with the many people who claim to be avatars, who come from India to this country, one after the other, and they say...
I can declare they are all nonsense.
That's what... I wanted to... If you could elaborate on that a little bit.
I can say furthermore, they are all rascals.
The Maharishi, for example.
He was for rascal number 1, I say, publicly.
Can you explain and give me a little background on that and why? Because our
I do
readers
not know, but from his behavior, I can understand he is rascal number 1. I do not like to know about him, but what he did. But the wonderful thing is that people in Western countries are supposed to be so advanced. How they are befooled by this rascal?
Well, I think that people believe what they want to believe. They're looking for something.
Yes,
and
but
he comes along.
they want something very cheap. That is their fault.
Yeah.
Now, for our disciples, we don't give anything cheap. Our first condition is character, moral character. You see? So unless one is accepting moral character, we don't initiate, don't allow him in this institution. And this Maharshi was, you do whatever you like. You simply pay me $35 and I give you some mantra. You see? So people wanted to be cheated and so many cheaters come. They do not wish to undergo some disciplinary action. You see? Anything, they have got money, they think that I shall pay and immediately you get the money.
Instant heaven.
Yes, that is their position. Just like people are trying to go to the moon planet. I have given my opinion, you have seen, in the Los Angeles Times. This chance is very remote.
Oh?
Yes. Why not? Suppose in your country, you have got some quota for immigration. Within this planet, if somebody comes without your immigration department's order, nobody can enter. How do you expect in that planet where the people are more advanced, they are called demigods, they are living for 10,000 years, how you expect that you go and you are immediately enter into the moon planet and they are selling tickets, reservations, everything they make a fun of it, you see.
Let me understand this if I may. Are you saying that there are people on the moon?
Yes.
There are?
Yes.
And they are demigods?
Yes.
They are demigods. How do you know that?
From our scripture, from Vedic literature.
From what literature?
Vedic literature.
How do you spell that?
Vedic.
Oh, Vedic. I beg your pardon.
Yes.
You'll forgive me if I must ask.
That's all right. That doesn't.
I don't mean to affront you.
Sometimes I do not follow your accent.
I know.
Yeah,
I
that
know.
is difference of country. That
Okay.
doesn't matter. Yes.
And from that literature, Vedic literature,
Yes.
it is stated in that there are people on the moon,
Oh, yeah.
but they're demigods.
The demigods means they're highly advanced than this human being. Therefore, they are also living entities like us. But their duration of life, their standard of life, their civilization, their spiritual knowledge so advanced that they are called demigods, almost God. They are so advanced. Demigods means almost God.
Yes.
They have got all godly qualities, and they are controller of the atmospheric affairs. Some of them are controlling rainy season, some of them controlling heat. As you have got controller here, some departmental, director of this department, director of that department, similarly, why don't you think that this cosmic manifestation, there is a great brain behind it, and there are different directors and there is management. People do not accept it. Nature. What do you mean by nature? Such nice things, such wonderful things are going on automatically without any control. Yes.
Well, I don't know. It's a question that, of course, one asks oneself all the time, I guess. It's part of man's quest to find himself and...
But they should have common sense that you are trying to float one Sputnik, so many scientific brains are working. And millions of wonderful Sputniks, which are called planets, they are floating in the air. There is no brain behind it. What is this? Is that very good reasoning?
Well, I don't know. I must ponder that.
And we should know it. How it can be? There must be a very big brain behind this. They are working.
Now, do you say that the moon is, so to speak, what should I say, headquarters? Where these demigods
No,
live?
there are many planets on the same level.
Oh,
There are many planets. Moon is one of them.
I see.
Yes.
Have any of these demigod creatures visited the earth, or I mean?
Formally they used to, because at that time people were worth to see them. You see?
When you say formally, you mean thousands of years ago, or
No, at least 5,000 years ago.
at least 5,000 years ago? The last time that we would know.
Yeah.
Are they in human form?
Yes, we so far we get information. Sometimes great sacrifices were performed, and demigods from other planets, they were invited, and they used to come.
And this is your authority for this statement is based in the Vedic literature?
Yes.
I see. I see.
It is not manufactured by me.
Oh, I know. No, I'm not implying that. No, sorry. But I just want to know where the verification.
My authority is Vedic literature. Yes.
Yeah, the Vedic form.
You will find Bhagavad Gita. You have seen our book, Bhagavad Gita?
Yeah, we have it at the office.
There are descriptions. There are description of these things.
Mm-hmm.
There is description of another nature, which is called spiritual nature. This is material nature.
Mm-hmm.
The sky, as far as you can see, this is one universe.
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, there are millions of universes. And all these together, that is material sky. And beyond that, there is spiritual sky, which is far, far greater than this. And there are spiritual planets. So this information we have got from Bhagavad Gita.
Mm-hmm.
What to speak of other Vedic literature? The Bhagavad Gita, it is daily read by practically all over the world, but they do not understand it. They simply become student of Bhagavad Gita, or simply just to think falsely that I am God, that's all. But they don't take any particular information. There is a verse in the 8th chapter, Parastasmatu bhavanyam bhaktya bhaktya sanatana. There is another nature beyond this material nature, which is eternal. This nature is coming into existence, again dissolution. But that nature is eternal. These things are there. Similarly, their planets are also eternal. They are living entities, they are also eternal. That is called Sanatan. Sanatan means eternal, without any end, without any beginning. But this nature, as we have, this body has got a beginning and it has end. Similarly, anything, this cosmic nature has a beginning and it has an end. So this Krishna consciousness movement is how to transfer ourselves to that nature, eternal nature.
That's man's quest.
Yes. That is the quest. Everyone is trying to be happy because that is every living entity's prerogative. He is by nature to become happy. But he does not know where to become happy. He is trying to become happy where four things are, miserable conditions are there, namely birth, death, disease and old age. There are so many scientists, they are trying to become happy, to make people happy, but which scientist has tried to stop death, to stop old age, to stop disease? Has any scientist tried?
I don't know.
Huh? So what is this? Why do they not take consideration that we are making so much improvement? What improvement we have done about these four things? They have no. And still they are very much proud, advanced in education, science. But the four primary miserable conditions, they remain as they are. There may be advancement in medical science, but there is no medicine which can claim no more disease. Come on. Is there any medicine? Then what is that advancement? Rather, disease are increasing in different forms. They have invented nuclear weapon. What is that? To kill. Well, have you invented something so that no more man will die? That is credit. But the man is dying every moment. So you have invented something to accelerate that death. That's all. Is that very, very good credit? So there is no solution of death. There is no. They are trying to stop the, overpopulation. But what is the solution? Every minute there are 3% increasing. That is the statistics. So there is no solution for birth, there is no solution for death, there is no solution for disease, and there is no solution for old age. There was a great scientist, Professor Einstein, he also died in old age. Why did he not stop to check old age? Everyone is trying to remain youthful. Where is that process? So they do not care how to solve this because this is beyond their means. They are giving something bluff, that's all. They do not care what is the real problem, how to solve it. They do not care for it. Here is a movement, Krishna consciousness. That is the real solution of all problems. If people take it seriously, yes. And the whole thing is described in the Bhagavad Gita. Let them try to understand it. At least make an experiment. Why they are so much callous and in going in their own way?
Let me ask you, I have my opinion, but I want to ask you, why do you feel that the younger people today are turning more and more toward the Eastern-oriented religions?
because you have failed to give them satisfaction.
You what?
You have failed to give them satisfaction. Your this materialistic way of life will no more satisfy them. There is a stage. In the beginning, when one is poverty-stricken, he may think that money and woman and good apartment, good car can give me satisfaction. They are after this. But after enjoyment they see there is no satisfaction because matter cannot satisfy. So your stage is, in America especially, you have got enough for enjoyment. You have got enough food, you have got enough woman, you have got enough wine, you have got enough house, everything enough. This shows that material advancement cannot give one satisfaction. The confusion, dissatisfaction is more in your country than in India, which is said to be poverty-stricken. You see? But you will find in India still, although they are poverty-stricken, because they are continuing that old culture, they are not disturbed. Yes. They are dying inch by inch, but still they are satisfied. All right. So why? Because they have got little tinge of spiritual platform. So it is necessary now that people should take spiritual life. That will make them happy. There is no hope. All these people, they are in darkness. They do not know where they are going. They have no aim. But when you are spiritually situated, you know what you are doing, where you are going, what is your future. Everything is clear.
So I just follow up on this very briefly. In other words, you feel that the Western-oriented church, whether it be the synagogue or the church or the whatever, has failed to present.
Yes,
you say that its message is not relevant, or that they have failed to present their message properly?
No. The thing is, these Western churches, just like Christianity, these gospels were spoken long, long ago to the primitive man, you see, Jerusalem. These people were living in desert and they are not so much advanced. So at that time, of course, in Bible or in the Old Testament, the idea of God is there, that is all nice. But they just like the statement, God created this world. That is a fact. Now, those people were not advanced in those. Now, at the present moment, people are advanced scientifically. They want to know how the creation has taken place. You see? And that explanation is not there. Neither the church can give them. Yes. Therefore, they are not satisfied. Simply, officially going to the church and offering prayer, that does not appeal to them. Besides that, practically, they do not follow religious principles. Just like in the Old Testament, there is, I want to say, 10 commandments. And there is a commandment that thou shalt not kill. Mm-hmm. But killing affair is very prominent in the Christian world. They are maintaining slaughterhouse very regularly. And they have manufactured a theory that animals have no soul, they do not feel, because they have to kill. Give the dog a bad name and hang it. Why? Animal cannot feel. Why you are committing these sinful activities? So the priestly class, they will not also say, they will not discuss, everyone is silent. That means deliberately, disobeying 10 commandments. So where is religious principle? If you don't obey the commandments of your scripture, does it mean that you are following religion nicely? How you can kill, which you cannot create? And it is plainly stated that thou shalt not kill. What is the answer? Why they are killing? What is the answer? How do you answer it?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
Well, it's obviously thou shalt not kill is an ethic, and it's timeless, and it's valid. But man is not really interested.
That
in
means
ethics.
they're not interested in religion. It is simply a make so bottle. Then how they can be happy? If you do not follow the regulative principles, then where is your religion?
I'm not arguing with you.
Yes.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Yes.
I'm in total agreement. It doesn't make any sense. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt worship no other gods before me. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's ass. Thou shalt honor thy father and thy mother. Those are beautiful ethics, but they're not obeyed.
Thou shalt not kidnap your neighbor's wife.
Wife, covet.
Oh,
wife,
so
his
who is
ass.
following this?
No one.
So,
Very few.
so how you can expect that religious? And without religion, a human society is animal society.
All right, well then let me ask you this. Along this line, I'm not asking any...
Take it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not asking any of these questions facetiously. Please
Yes.
understand. What does your interpretation, or how does it differ in principle from the basic Jewish Christian ethic of the Ten Commandments? How does it differ?
There is no difference.
All right, then if that's the case, what have you to offer? When I say you, I'm using impersonal.
Yes.
Basically,
Yes.
what have you to offer that is different than the Christian ethos, or
Yes.
the Jewish ethos?
Because, as I have told you, that none of them are strictly following God's commandment. I simply come that you follow God's commandment. That is my message.
In other words, the obeying
Yes.
of those principles.
I don't say that you Christian, you become Hindu or you come to me. I simply say you obey this commandment. That is my order. I make you better Christian. That is my mission. I don't say that God is not there, God is here. But I simply say that you obey God. That is my mission. I don't say that you have to come to this platform and accept Krishna as God and no other. No, I don't say. I didn't say, please obey God. Please try to love God. That is my mission.
Then again,
And I give the way how to love God. Very easily. How to learn, provided we agree.
we see again, we get back to this.
So, practically you follow that I have no difference.
Yes, I understand.
Yes.
I appreciate it.
You believe in God, I believe in God.
Yes.
I simply say you try to love God.
Well, I'm still, it's not that I'm confused. I understand what you're saying.
You are confused still?
No, I understand what you are saying. What confuses me or makes it, when I say me and so many of our readers, is why is it, let me ask a question again, and let me ask it maybe to become clear in my mind. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but let me say it this way. Are you saying that if your mission and the mission of the Jewish, Christian, Western ethic is the same? Again, let me ask the same question. Why is it that the younger people, or people in general, are disenchanted, are trying to go toward the Eastern-oriented religions if their aim or premise is the same as the Western?
Yes.
Why are they going toward the Eastern if the premise is the same?
Because these Christian people, they are not teaching them practically. I am teaching them practice.
In other words, you're teaching them what you feel is a practical,
Yes.
everyday, daily method
Yes.
of attaining this fulfillment of
Yes,
man's spirit.
how to the love of Godhead is being taught by Bible or Old Testament and Gita. That is all right. But you are not teaching them how to love God. I am teaching them how to love God. That is the difference. Therefore young people are attracted.
So the end is the same, it's the method of getting there.
Not method. You are not at all following. Even the method is there. Just I say, the method is there. Don't kill, and you are killing.
I say, but the end is the same. Your
End is the same.
Is the same, but it's the way of
Method is also same.
Yeah.
But they are not teaching people to follow the method. I am teaching them practically how to follow and how to do it.
Let me ask you something here that we've run into a great deal just recently. We've just started a youth supplement for kids. And one of the most, what should I say? That particular thing which provides perhaps the biggest schism between man's, or at least American man's and woman's, love of God or the following of the Ten Commandments is the problem, how should I put it? Well, the sexual problem. We here in this country are taught, and we have the Puritan background, that sex is a bad thing. And I think hopefully we're coming out of it. But when young people, a person reaches the age of puberty, here in this country, I don't know from other countries, begins to have obviously a terrible problem. Now I'm stating something that's obvious. We've all gone through this.
Yes, everyone.
But it seems that it has been impossible for the Western churches to give to the young people something to hold on to so that they can understand, number one, that what they're feeling is a normal, beautiful thing, and number two, how to cope with it. And there is nothing in Western culture that teaches or helps a young person to cope with this thing that is a very, very difficult problem. And I went through it. I suppose we all have.
Yes,
now, do you, in your message, give the young people something to hold, to hang on to, and if so, what?
Yes, I give.
What?
I ask all my disciples to get married. I don't allow these boys living with boyfriend, girlfriend. No. If you must get yourself married, live like gentlemen. Treat your wife as assistant. Treat your husband as your provider. In this I am teaching. This boy was married just 4 days before he is professor. So I have got so many of my disciples married, and they are living very happy. This girl is married. Formally they are living with girlfriend, boyfriend. I don't allow that. I don't allow that.
Well, let me get a little more basic. How about when someone is 14, 15, 16 years old?
The same thing. Of course, another thing is that we teach our boys to become brahmachari. Brahmachari. Brahmachari means how to live the life of celibacy. Just how I'll explain.
Yeah.
Brahmachari life.
Yeah, I understand.
Well, it's control of the senses, and he teaches us how to control the senses. Generally, marriage doesn't take place until a boy is about 22, 23, 25.
You mean in his culture?
Yes.
Yeah.
We select girl, say about 16, 17 years old, and a boy not more than 24 years old. I get them married. You see? And because their attention is diverted to Krishna consciousness, they have very little interest simply for sex life. You see? They have got better engagement. Parang dishtani vartate. You see? We give substitute. We simply don't say that you don't do it, but we give something better. You see? Then automatically the don't automatically comes. You see?
At the right time.
And immediately. We give something better, engagement.
What is this?
Just like our boys and girls, they're all engaged in Krishna consciousness business, in temple work, in painting, in typing, in recording, so many things. And they're happy. So they're not going to cinema, they're not going to club, they're not drinking, they're not smoking. So practically I'm training them how to control. And there is possibility. Because these boys and girls, they are all Americans. They are not imported from India. Why they have taken to it? This system is so nice that they have liked it. So if you spread this system, then everything will be solved.
So, well, then that's...
We don't prohibit that you don't mix with women or you stop sex life. We don't say that. But we make everything regulated under Krishna consciousness. Their aim is higher. These are on secondary platform. So in this way, everything is nice.
Is this what Gandhi did?
Huh? No, what Gandhi knew. He was a politician. He did not know anything about this culture.
Well, I read that when he was 36 years old, he became a celibate. That was it.
That is, of course, he had some Hindu cultural ideas. That is nice. He began very basic. That's all right. But Gandhi had no very advanced spiritual ideas. You see. He was more or less politician, statesman.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
A very courageous
yes.
man. Well, this the answer seems very very pat, so to speak. And if it's that...
Now, if you cooperate, then I can change the whole thing in your country. They will be very happy. Everything will be very nice. This Krishna consciousness movement is so nice. Provided you cooperate. Nobody is cooperating. Simply these boys, they have kindly come to me and cooperating. So my movement is progressing, but very slowly. But if the leaders of the American people, they come and they try to understand and they try to introduce the system, so your country will be the nicest country in the world.
How long have you been involved in this?
2.5 years.
2.5 years? How old are you, if I may ask?
I'm 28.
You're 28. Has this sort of turned you around?
Considerably.
From a practical standpoint, how is this sexual thing that the Swami was talking about, how has this affected you? I mean, have you found that there's efficacy in that which has been, we were just talking about? Because to me it's a very paramount problem in terms of young people.
Well, there are desires, and we have so many desires. The sexual desire is perhaps one of our strongest desires.
Mm-hmm.
So these these desires are channels, so to speak. They're redirected, and they're directed toward Krishna.
Well, I understand that, but I'm saying, is it efficacious? Does it work?
Yes, it works. It works, but you have to stick with it. It can be very difficult, especially at first, but it works. You have to resolve to make it work. You have to want it to work.
I want to understand this thoroughly. In other words, it's nothing that you feel that you're giving up.
No, it's that when you see something better.
That's what I mean.
And
that's important.
You are accepting something better.
Better. That's not by just biting your tongue and, or your lips and saying, I won't touch that, I won't touch that. There is a substitute.
It's not, you have a capacity for enjoyment, and you're not going to give up something. It's very human not to give up something unless you have something better. So, the case is that you have to get something better.
Yeah.
You give up one thing.
Mm-hmm. How long have you been here, sir?
I came here in September 1965, and then I was little indisposed in May 1967, I think. Then I went back to India. Then again I came back in December 1967. Just 1 year passed.
Yes, I see.
Yes.
Why did you come here? I mean, yeah.
Because I want to give this culture to the world, and my idea is that America is advanced country. If they accept it, then it will be possible to broadcast the idea throughout the whole world. That is my idea. But I am hopeful now, because these educated young Americans, they are taking serious interest to this movement. And we are publishing papers, books, and they are writing very nicely. So I am an old man, I may die, but I have implanted the idea. It will go on. It will go on. And they will be accepted. That experiment is done. If it is nicely propagated, then it will be accepted without any fail. And these boys who have come to me, they are taken seriously. So I am hopeful.
I saw your magazine. It's a beautiful magazine.
Back to Godhead.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful magazine.
Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful thing. Who is it? Where is that done?
It is published in New York.
In New York.
Yeah.
I saw the latest issue. Beautiful. How many people are in the movement? I mean, approximately.
I've got about a little more than 100 disciples who are strictly following my regulative principles.
100.
Yes.
Yeah.
In different branches. I've got about 13 branches. Some of the disciples are working in London.
In London.
Yes, they're doing very nice.
Oh, yeah.
They're all married couples. I got them married. Yes, I got them married. The young boys, all within 30. My oldest disciple is 28, otherwise 25, 24, at most 30. And similarly, girls, you have seen these girls, you see. So I get them, make them happy, marriage life. Their mentality is not, they are not after so-called popped up life. They can live very simply, with least demand of bodily necessities, but thinking very high of Krishna consciousness. So I am very hopeful that even I die, because I am an old man, 73 years old, I may die at any moment, but I am now assured my movement will go on. These boys